And so welcome back to another one, you guys. If you're new to the channel, my name is Andrew with Younger Volvo in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on our inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we are in the brand new 2026 Volvo V60 Cross Country, because this is a rare wagon from Sweden. You have an elegant design, get headlight washers still, which I personally love. You have a crystal shifter by Orforce, also a big fan of that. But ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. So there's essentially two different configurations for the V60 Cross Country. First one being the Plus, starting at $55,885, which by the way is a $4,390 bump from the 2025 model year. That's kind of substantial. Then you got the Ultra starting at $60,775. But regardless of the trim level that you go with, the power plant on the V60 is going to be the same. Powering the beast is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with a mild hybrid system. This puts out 247 horsepower, 5,400 RPM, 258 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 1,800 RPM. That power is going to be sent to all 4 wheels through an 8-speed automatic. 0 to 60 time for this one, approximately 6.6 seconds. That's respectable. Top speed, if you're interested, 115 miles per hour, with MPG numbers coming in at 24 in the city, 31 on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in the V60 Cross Country, did want to mention to you guys first the drive modes. And so all of those are located within the infotainment screen. There's essentially 2 different drive modes. You have an off-road drive mode, and then you have a steering feel firm mode. So that's always the first thing I do in any Volvo. I change it to that steering feel firm mode because it's such a heavier weight to the steering, and I'll get more into that a little bit later, but I personally love that. But now that I've got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put this thing here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2026 V60 Cross Country here up to speed. All right, got her straightaway here in 3, 2, 1, go! Cool shifts. I love the way this thing shifts. It kind of like, you can definitely feel the shift changes. I just think it's kind of cool. It makes a little noise when you shift too. So I don't know, that probably sounded stupid, but it sounds good when it shifts. That's what I'm trying to get at. But plenty of an acceleration emerging onto the highway. It's not the quickest thing in the world, but this is kind of a relatively large wagon, so you really shouldn't expect it to be. But yeah, that was fine. I definitely don't have any issues with that acceleration there. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so up front, you will find 13.6-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 12.6-inch ventilated rear discs. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, that comes in at a respectable 121 feet. As far as braking feel goes, since there's no one behind us, yeah, man, that is perfectly fine. 100% on the firmer side of things. I love that braking feel. Kind of was expecting a softer braking feel. I was kind of expecting like a kind of SUV-like braking feel, but quite honestly, this is more like a sports sedan braking feel. I love the brakes on the V60, so that is definitely pretty cool. Anyways, then touching on suspension and handling. Up front, you're going to get an independent double wishbone type front suspension. In the back, integral link rear suspension. Overall, as far as ride quality goes, as we're cruising on the smoothest road in history here, definitely no issues so far. Absorbing the road imperfections that don't exist quite nicely, so no issues there. Now, as far as steering feel goes, that's what I love about this thing. Every single Volvo has this steering feel firm mode, and I instantly always turn that on because it's such a heavier weight to the steering. It instantly points you in the direction that you want to go, and I just absolutely love it. Now, if I were to take that off, it's more like an SUV type of feel, loosey-goosey, and that's fine too. It gives you something for everybody, and that's why I like it as well. So if you like the heavier feel, you got it. If you like the looser feel, you have that as well. But then touching on cabin noise, this is the perfect test. We're going 56 miles per hour. I'm gonna shut up here real quick. It's fine for me, honestly. I have no issues with the cabin noise in here whatsoever. Really no road noise, no wind noise, so 100% perfectly fine there. Touching our rear visibility, again, 100% perfectly fine. I can see perfect out of my rear view mirror here, no issues there. Then touching on forward visibility, rain sensing windshield wipers do come standard on the V60 Cross Country, so whenever this thing detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on this windshield wipers for you, so gotta love that. The other thing is the forward visibility is I am looking at a head-up display right now. It's giving me my speed limit, and it's going to display safety features up there as well. Kind of hard to see with polarized sunglasses, so I just took them off, but I love that. So I can keep my eyes on the road all the time now and better enjoy the drive here in the V60, which is definitely a good thing. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2026 Volvo V60 Cross Country. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2026 Volvo V60 Cross Country, finished in crystal white, which goes great with the crystal shifter. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where the V60 is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the letter Y, indicating that this one is either built and assembled in Sweden or Belgium. In the case of the V60 Cross Country, it is Belgium, with many of the parts, of course, coming from Sweden. But anyways, let's go ahead and start up front. You get a cross country specific front grille. Gotta appreciate that. To the sides, LED headlights with LED Thor's hammer daytime running lights. Typical Volvo fashion there. Get the automatic feature with those headlights. You also get automatic high beams. So if you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. And when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up to high beams for you there. Just below those headlights, you will find LED fog lights. They do come standard for both trim levels. Got that matte black front lip, and my favorite part is going to be the headlight washers up front. So you guys can see that. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong cutout. That little cutout just underneath of the headlights there. If you press the windshield wiper fluid button that sprays it on the windshield, it's also going to spray it on the headlights as well, which is pretty stinking cool. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the front end. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the side. All right, so here's the best look on the V60 Cross Country. We're going to go ahead and start up top here. Silver roof rails do come standard. Gloss black window surrounds coming standard as well. Rear privacy glass. Body colored power adjustable side mirrors. They will be heated with LED integrated turn signals. Then taking a look down at the wheel setup, they are going to differ dependent upon the trim level. 18-inch black diamond cut alloys for the Plus, and then 19-inch 5-spoke black diamond cut alloys for the Ultra. And then the last thing I wanted to mention on the side profile here is there is some cross-country lettering kind of etched into the side skirts. Hopefully you guys can see that, but that's a pretty cool little attention to detail right there. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Love the look of the wagon from the side, but let's now go ahead and swing around to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of the V60, all the way to the top, body colored shark fin antenna. Just below that, rear spoiler with an integrated brake light. Just below that, rear window wiper. Got the Volvo lettering spelled out horizontally, of course. You also have cross country lettering spelled out horizontally as well, just kind of on the lower portion of that rear bumper. Hopefully you guys can see that, but just underneath of all of it, you will find dual exhaust outlets. They are tucked away. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. So now since we are around to the back of the V60 Cross Country, when it comes to opening that rear lift gate, there is a button on the key fob. There, of course, is a button on the lift gate itself then as well. But by the way, it's a power lift gate. That does come standard. But once opened up, cargo capacity behind that second row comes in at 23 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, of course, the rear seats do fold down for quite a bit of extra space then if you needed it. You do have a little bit of netted storage back there. There is some cargo lighting, of course. Grocery bag hooks, 2 of them on each side for a total of 4. That is pretty stinking cool. You very rarely see 4 grocery bag hooks, even in an SUV, so well done Volvo for that. There is a cargo cover back there. There's tie-down anchors. There's a 12-volt power outlet. Then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you of course will find a spare tire, which I always love to see. Then making our way up to the rear legroom, that is going to come in at 35.2 inches. For reference, I'm even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the back seats there. Rear center armrest with cup holders does come standard to get rear ventilation back there as well. Dual rear USB charging ports, and then if you wanted heated rear seats, go with the climate package. It goes for $700. That's how you're going to go ahead and get it. The only thing missing, I think, for the rear passengers is rear window sunshades. I would 100% definitely add them, at least as an option in a luxury vehicle like the V60 Cross Country. But then making our way up to the front seats, leather seating does come standard. Napa leather seating coming with the Ultra that we have with us here today. Of course, you got the flag of Sweden found on the passenger seat, one of my favorite parts of this vehicle. Power adjustable front seats do come standard. They will be heated, then ventilated for the Ultra trim level only. Also, you get power cushion extension and power side bolsters for that Ultra trim level that we have with us here today. Overall, as far as seat comfort goes, I'm gonna be honest, not the very most comfortable seats out there. A lot of horizontal seams in this one, creating some awkward pressure points. And I played around with the power lumbar. I still kind of felt a little weird. But anyways, I'm sure it might be something that I would get used to. But Volvo, if you're watching this, consider some vertical seams. Take a page out of the Lexus LC's playbook. Some of the most comfortable seats out there. And yeah. That's my honest opinion. But then taking a look at the steering wheel, it is tilt and telescoping. It is going to be a leather-free steering wheel, which is interesting they put it that way. It is a two-tone steering wheel, so I definitely like that. Nice thumb placements for the 10 and 2 grips there. And it's going to be heated if you go with the Ultra or the Climate package for the Plus trim level. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys this new Volvo key for 2026. It's no longer that silver indented logo on the one side. It is now filled in a gloss black. Not a big deal, but wanted to mention it. But you got lock, unlock, and the button to pop the rear liftgate there. But it is all keyless entry with a turn knob start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and turn the knob to the right to start it, and then turn the knob to the right to stop it. Never turn it to the left. You don't want to know what happens if you do. But then taking a look at the gauges, it is a 12.3 inch digital gauge cluster. You got your speedometer all the way to your left, tachometer is on your right, and of course your Google Maps front and center, which is always wonderful to see for when you are venturing around Sweden. You have your Google Maps, so that is pretty cool. I actually love them. But you have your outside temperature, how many miles you have left until you hit empty. Gauges look plenty fine in my personal opinion. But then make your way to overall interior quality. You have this massive panoramic moonroof that does come standard, by the way. You gotta appreciate that. Frameless rearview mirror with HomeLink controls for up to 3 different garage doors. Aluminum door sills coming standard. You're gonna find a hand stitch gear selector for the Plus trim level. However, if you go with that Ultra like we have today, you're gonna get an Orfor's crystal gear selector that's backlit. And by the way, Orfor's is a glass company based in Sweden, but I love the way this thing looked when I took it through the car wash. Probably without a doubt my favorite shifter available right now, built by every manufacturer, so big fan of that. Anyways, you're gonna find a tailored dashboard if you go with that Ultra trim level. Also some driftwood decor if you go with the Ultra as well. Linear lime decor if you went with the Plus. So either way, it's pretty stinking cool. Aluminum speaker covers if you get the Harman Kardon sound system. Big fan of that. We're gonna be testing that out here in a second, but that's very high quality. Overall, as far as overall interior quality goes, extremely nice. So just in front of the shifter, you have a little bit of storage there. To the right of the shifter, you got your cup holders, everything surrounding the engine start button. That's all going to be finished in a gloss black. Then within the center armrest, there's a decent amount of space in there. You do have a couple of USB charging ports in there as well. The other cool thing is with the interior lighting, you just simply touch it and it turns on and off. And then to open and close the panoramic moonroof, you slide your finger back to open it, then slide it forward to close it. That's something Volvo started, I think, and it's so stinking cool. But now, let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen. So what you were looking at is a 9-inch vertical touchscreen display. Get Bluetooth and audio streaming, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, factory navigation system up there as well. Climate control settings, you get drive mode adjustments like I was telling to you guys earlier. Also, your radio information can be found up there. So when it comes to the sound systems, there are a few of them actually. 10 speakers and 220 watts come standard with the Plus. Then there's a 14 speaker Harman Kardon sound system with 600 watts for the Ultra. And then there's an optional sound system, which is a 15 speaker Bowers & Wilkins sound system with 1,410 watts. And that goes for $3,200 if you wanted that one. But we do have the Harman Kardon sound system with us here today with 14 speakers. So let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. That was really good. Gotta love a little bit of chill step to relax you in the middle of the day, but plenty of clarity there. The bass was really, really nice as well. Now I will say the Bowers & Wilkins, one of my top 2 sound systems I've ever tested, but the Harman Kardon with the aluminum speaker covers, 100% on point as well for this thing. But last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the V60 in reverse, you will find an extremely high definition rear view camera. Also have that 360-degree monitor there to the top as well, which is always is going to lead us into safety. And so starting with the best part, the V60 Cross Country is an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, which is the very highest rating given by IIHS. So that pretty much says it all right there. Front side curtain airbags do come standard. Driver's knee airbag in the back. You got latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats. Rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard. Adaptive cruise control, adaptive power steering, blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert, lane keep assist, oncoming lane mitigation, pilot assist, and road sign recognition, of course, as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts, I love that I'm sitting in a rare wagon. There's not many wagons left these days, so for me, that's pretty cool. Also, built in Belgium with parts from Sweden. That's a rare combination. I like that as well. Excellent tech. I love the infotainment screen. I love the head-up display. Also love this digital gauge cluster with Google built in. And so, but that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow Younger Volvo on Instagram. We have over 2,000 followers now. Be sure to hit the subscribe with the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews and all of our fun YouTube shorts we put on our channel as well. We do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and we will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.
My heart rages around like an ocean in